Hi guys. Well, what you're looking at here is obviously a SG. It's all been gutted out. I found it on eBay, cheap. And what we're going to do is put it back together into an instrument again. It's a real nice natural wood finish on it. Batwing pickguard, which I particularly like. And it's a real nice piece of wood. It really is. And no major nicks and scratches and bangs in it. So yeah, we're going to put it back together, turn it into a playable instrument again. Okay, hang on a sec. Okay, first thing we're going to do is put the tuners in place. Got a nice set of cloisons here. These are Gibson ones that came off of Les Paul. So these are the real deal. And simply throw a few little screws and hold them on. Good to go. I'm not going to tighten the screws down all the way because I still have to put the grommets in place, or the collets, whatever they're called, the thingamabobbers on the other side. So I'll just leave these screws in place, but not totally tight, so I still have a bit of wiggle room when I put those other things on. And these are left and right, so this one goes here like that. It doesn't go like that. Difference being, you see the tuner is towards the top, so that goes on there like that. That's how you can tell if it's a left hand or a right hand. So I think you get the idea. So I'll put the rest of these on, flip it over. We'll put the ferrules, that's what they're called, the ferrules, in place, and snug everything down. Hang on. Okay, we got her flipped over, and we have a washer and a I forgot what it's called again, ferrule. And you notice the washers are beveled on one side and flat on the other. Flat side goes down like that. I'm going to put in the ferrule. Just hand tight it. I would do the same again. The washer, beveled side up. Put the ferrule in place. And we take our socket. Wrong one. I don't know where my other socket is, but that's the idea. And then once we put the ferrules in place and we tighten down the thing, then we here it is. Yeah. And we tighten down the sockets of the ferrules, just hand tight. That's all you got to do. You don't want to crank it, because last thing you want to do is crack the headstock. That would suck. And we'll flip it over and tighten the screws underneath that we left loose, and we're done with the tuners. Okay, hang on. Okay. All the ferrules are in place, snug down. Now we just snug down the screws that hold the bottoms in place again. Not tight, you don't want to strip them out. You just want to give them a little snug, and there you go. And I recommend, whenever you restring a guitar, when you got strings off it, check, because sometimes they'll come loose. Particularly the ferrules, they'll like to work themselves loose when you're playing from vibration and stuff. So keep your little socket handy for when you in your string tuning changing kit. This is a 10mm, so just get a 10mm socket. Keep it in your with your string changing tools, and there you go. Okay, so that's it for the tuners. We'll move on to the electronics. Okay, what we're doing here is I'm just installing the jack. What I've done is, because I don't have new pots and whatnot, and I don't have a proper switch for an SG, it has to be a little bit shorter than like a Les Paul one, which is longer. I'm just taking the guts out of my Epiphone SG, and I'm going to drop these in for the time being, and then I'll get some nice new pots and caps and everything, do a proper harness. But this will do for now. So I'm just going to finish soldering up the jack. There we go. That's that. And boy, the nice thing about these SGs is everything just plops right in. You don't have to fish wires through the body to get to the switch. You don't have to fish wires through the body to get to the jack. It just plonk right in there, which is awesome. So my 2 washers, oops, lock washer, and jack go in here. Move this around so you can see what I'm doing. And then we have a switch. I have to figure out which is which now. These are the tone ones. This is a tone one. Goes in here. There's the volume. You can tell the tone ones because they have the capacitor on them. And this wire is for the ground to the bridge, so we'll just get that up out of the way for now. I'm going to put the switch in there. And these two. Just, there we go. Fish everything in there nicely. It all just drops in, pretty as you please. Now I got to flip it over and screw everything down. So just hang on a sec. I'll reorganize a bit and come right back. Okay, I put the pots in, tighten them down, put my little pointers on, and the switch and the jack. And wasn't much to see there, just tightening down the nuts. When I do the when I build a new harness for this, I'll do a separate video on that, so we can see how that's all done. Bridge is a Tone Pros tailpiece. I don't have a Tone Pros bridge. I do, but I don't have the studs for it, so I'm going to have to use a regular Gibson bridge. So now what I have to do is install the pickups, which will go in this. Hang on a sec. Here we go. Go in this. So they have to be installed in the pickguard before it gets dropped in place, kind of like a Strat. And the annoying part is that the bridge goes right through, so you got to take the bridge off in order to work on the pickups. But oh well, small price to pay. So give me a minute, and we will get going on the pickup installation. Okay, I have all the electronics installed. These are the parts that came out of my Epiphone SG. So I just plop those in so I can use the thing. When I do my proper harness, I'm going to get brand new pots and caps and the whole bit, and a new switch. So I'll do a video just on that at that time. So flip her over, and I got a Tone Pros tailpiece that's on there already. This is a Seymour Duncan 59. This is a Gibson, what do they call it, Burst Bucker Pro, which I believe is an Alico 2. And I got my bridge posts in place for the bridge, so we'll do the setup right from scratch, and call that a wrap. But so let me give me a sec to get sorted, and we'll get going. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I've dropped the bridge in place. I'm going to check the neck for straightness. Okay, and I do have a little bit of a back bow. I can feel it on the straight edge, which is normal because the guitar has no strings on it. So naturally the truss rod's going to pull the neck back a little bit because of the tension that was on it. So when I restring it, I'll check that again, and it'll probably need some adjustment, but I'm going to leave it the way it is for now. And what I'm going to do is, because it's a fresh setup, never had strings on it before, or since I've had it, I'm going to put on the 2 E strings, the big and the little, and then we'll adjust the bridge up and down until we get the action more or less where we want it, and then we'll put the other strings on it, tune it up to pitch, and then check the neck relief. Okay, so give me a minute to get set and we'll do that. Okay, let's put a little bend in the string so I can fish it up underneath. Up it goes. I got these. Let's move these right down. Yeah, up a little bit. And put the bridge in. I like the bridge with the screws to the back. That's just personal preference. It doesn't really matter. So push that right through, up and over. And let me show you a little trick. This is how I like to string my guitars. Put this there, and instead of putting the string through and then crank a million times on this, I line up all the holes so that they're all pointed in this direction towards the nut. Then put the nut, make sure it's seated properly in the bridge, tailpiece, and nut. Then I'll take the string and I will just wrap it around. 1.5 times is good for the big strings. A couple times is good for the little ones. So I'll wrap it around and then fish it through like that. And tug it tight, bend it up. Then just bring it up tight. You don't even need to use a winder. There you go. You can nip that right off. So that's how I like to do that. It makes things a little easier on the wrist. So now I can cut this off. And we'll do the same thing with the little E string. Whoever it was at Diodario who thought it would be a good idea to wind these strings up in pairs should be shot and pissed on. This is the stupidest thing I ever saw in my life. Imagine yourself on a dark stage in the middle of a gig trying to restring a broken string. Fighting with that. So, again, I'll wrap it around a couple times for the smaller strings. Fish it through. Pull it tight and then up and tighten the string. And there we go. Now what we're going to do is bring the bridge up. Go a little higher. Now we'll bring up the bass side. Loosen it off a little bit. Crank it until the action looks about where you like it. I don't measure 64ths and all that. Can't be bothered with that. My eyes aren't good enough to see a 64th anyway. I'm going to plug in my tuner. Tuna. It's not a tuna. Okay. Switch it on. I got a nice chord rack tuner. Which is perfect for this sort of stuff. There's E. going to bring it up just a bit more. There. It's easier to get the two strings adjusted to height because there's not so much pressure, string tension on the bridge pushing downwards with only two strings. So, and I'm seeing something I don't like right there. This bridge breaks over the edge of the, or the sort of string breaks over the edge of the bridge. This one's pretty close. So our correction for that is to bring the tailpiece up. You can do that. Or you can do the wraparound thing that keeps the string more straight, which is probably what I'll do when I restring this guitar again. Yeah, it's a bit better. So, bring it up to E. There. Now we'll put the other strings on. So yeah, that's what I'll do next time. I'll wrap the strings around so that the strings go in through here and then they come out here and then wrap around the top of the tailpiece. So same thing again, make sure it's seated on the bridge and the nut, and wrap it around one and a little bit. Fish the end through. Bend it up and tighten. Hey, look at that, got it right off the bat. So that's that. Give me a minute, I'll finish restringing and we'll check the neck relief and continue. Hang on. Okay, got the strings on, tuned up the pitch, and I just look underneath the straight edge, and I'm seeing a little bit more relief there than I like. Again, I just do this by eyeball, I don't measure 64ths or anything like that, so I'm just going to tighten this up a little bit. That was about a quarter turn. And now we will see what that's done for us. Oops, wrong side. A little bit. Just a touch more. There. And we'll drop this back on. And that really looks pretty good. My spectacles on so I can see a bit better. Yep, that'll do. Just a pinch of relief on it like I like it. And turn it to pitch. Now what I'll do is I'll rough in the intonation, and then, actually no, I'll set it up properly. I'll put the intonation and do it in playing position and see where we get. Alright, hang on a sec. Okay, we always do intonation in playing position. Check the open string. It's a bit sharp. So what we're going to do is make the string a little bit longer, which means bringing the saddle back a little bit. Put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Just bring some lighter on so I can see what I'm doing. That's a lot better. Okay, so I'm going to tighten the screw. Just going to move that saddle back just a little bit. There we go. Now, we tune the pitch again. Yeah, that's pretty much spot on. I'm going to have to bring the action up just a touch more. Retune. Every time you do something, you gotta retune the pitch. Okay. A string, tune the pitch. Again, a bit sharp. So we're going to do the same thing with the screw. Tighten the screw just a bit. The thing about these tunematic bridges, they're a pain in the ass to intonate. Okay. Let's see. Tune the pitch. Okay. D. Tune the pitch. D is pretty much spot on. Very nice. G. Do the G. Bring it down. Back up. Pitch. Sharp. So the same thing again. We're going to lengthen the string, so we tighten the screw, bring the saddle back just a bit, then we tune back the pitch. Still a little bit on the sharp side. Bring this back a bit more. There. B. Now this will be an ongoing process for a few days because that's pretty close. Because new strings, the neck has been unstrung for some time, so I had to wait for everything to settle until the truss rod settles a little bit, and see what happens as well. But so this is a rough setup. It's close enough for now. Guitar is quite playable. So there you go. Gotta put some knobs on it, make it look pretty. So that's all there is to it. Any questions on this, let me know. Like I said, I'll be doing a separate video on the electronics once I get the parts, probably in a week or so. And yeah, any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching. Okay, you see we give it a little demo here. I'm using my Blues Deluxe with a rat pedal hiding down there for a little bit of dirt, and just a tuner stuck in there, cuz. And yeah, let's see what it can do. Hang on a sec. Okay, everything's wide open. I'm in the middle. Down to the bridge. Neck. There you go. A 1985, this thing, 1985 SG Special, completely rebuilt. And there you go. Any questions? Let me know. Thanks for watching.